Hi, this is Zuba here. So this is post week 1 scaling on the Glacial Hammer Berserker. I managed to farm out a pretty decent amount of currency and made a couple of upgrades and changes. One of which is I've changed to a different weapon. I'm no longer using the Frost Breath, although the Frost Breath is really cheap. I managed to craft this, so I bought the base and then I crafted this for a pretty decent price. It wasn't very expensive. In fact, I got it to a point where it had only strength and no, it had no strength. So I just crafted on the flat, and then I blind slammed, then exalt. Unfortunately, it gave me 23 strength, which isn't really that good for me. But you know, it's still better than an empty slot, right? So yep. This is the new weapon. As you can tell, it is pretty fast. It's about 1.90 attacks per second. And then if you look at the critical strike chance, it's like 8.28, which is pretty sizable. And then the flat is pretty nice as well. This is like 600 DPS altogether. We're only focusing on fizz and cold. It wouldn't make much sense to get a pure fizz weapon because I guess your hammer converts 100% of fizz to cold. And even if you got like a T1 percentage physical and accuracy roll on this weapon, you would still have less overall DPS than if you had T1 flat cold and just this particular set of rolls. It's unfortunate the crafted roll for flat damage isn't very high, so the top end of damage for this could probably get higher. So you could probably craft a 650 also DPS weapon. But 600 is pretty fine, and I'm happy with the way it is right now because of the T2 attack speed and T1 crit chance. So I'll leave it as this. I might try craft another scepter, but we'll see. It really depends on how cheap the bases are. This base was like 20 chaos or so, and whether or not I can get like essences cheap to craft the cold damage. I had bought this off the market because I thought it was cheap. It already came this way. I didn't really do anything else to it other than add the quality enchant. So it has 4 influence rolls. Chance to gain frenzy charge on hit is obviously really good because it gives you frenzy charges. I didn't have frenzy charges beforehand, so this gives like 4% more damage times 3 frenzy charges. So this is almost a 12% multiplier in terms of damage. Apply additional curse also its own multiplier, but I have not added a damage curse. What I have added is I've gone for Enfeeble, because Enfeeble is like super strong this league. Unfortunately, because my int is now dropped to about 120 some 123 or something, it's just not high enough to put level than Enfeeble. But even still, 14% less damage is pretty nice, so I have opted to go for this. I might consider swapping this out, but for now, this will stay as it is. The same goes for the elemental weakness. I might think of swapping it out for now, but for now this will stay as it is. If anything, I would swap to a flammability and frostbite setup. And the reason why is because flammability and frostbite does not need high amounts of int in order to get it to level 20 curse gems. And if that's the case, then yeah, that would probably be the most ideal. So what's next is yeah, that's probably what's next. Oh yeah, what's next in terms of gear upgrades? I bought a heat shiver with a dual implicit corruption. Cost of reservation multiplier is pretty insane. I like the maximum life as well, just because um, uh, right left side of the three, your EHP mostly comes from having HP. So I just wanted as much percentage HP as possible. This is nice. I mean, +2 auras would also be good, but unfortunately, that would be about 10 divines minimum. This cost me 1 divine. I think the guy really didn't price it. Didn't think it was that expensive, so I got a good deal out of this. I did a lamp enchant service, so I went to TFT and got this. You could obviously do it yourself, but it's a waste of time, I feel. So Glacial Hammer still has a 30% chance to freeze. Overall, I still have like a 95% chance to freeze on non-crits, and I'm starting to scale crits right now. So, uh, like you will see my crit chance and crit damage data. It's pretty impressive. But yeah. Yeah, what was it? Oh, see, we're talking about this, right? The additional curse. Oh yeah. So physical damage from hit is taken as chaos damage. You think that this is not necessarily a good thing. The thing is, with the setup I have right now, I have 85% chaos res. Uh, with pretty sizable uptime, and I'll show you how. And then attacks have additional 1.35 to critical strike chance. This puts my crit chance on the weapon to about 9.5, or almost close to 10, which means the ability skill crit pretty high is significant. I can actually get, I think, about 80% effective crit, even with 20 blitz charges. So I'll show you how I get blitz charges later as well. I bought this as well, which is a dual Berserker corruption for the Yoke of Suffering. Additional curse is obviously OP and expensive, but I got this pretty cheap. Yeah, so that's the reason why how I'm running 3 curses. I'm running Assassin's Spark, Enfeeble, and Elemental Weakness. I have curse on this and I have curse on this, so that's why 3 curses total. Uh, I have upgraded this as well. I sold off my old one. I bought this. It has dexterity, flat fire, cold damage against shield and frozen enemies, and the chaos res. I really want the chaos res because I now have like max chaos res of 85, right? So I want to make use of that and have chaos res on my rolls. Yeah. What else? Oh yes, this has stayed the same. I haven't found a better one. Obviously, the one I started with was really very good, so there's no need to swap it out. This upgrade was Mahuzodl's Machination, so you might be asking why I go Mahuzodl's. So I'll explain the synergy. So right now, 50% of non-chaos taken bypass energy shield. Oh, that was not important. 50% maximum life as extra maximum energy shield is nice, but the thing is that you don't really use energy shield for anything else because Divine Flash basically just allows all damage to bypass the energy shield, right? So what is the energy shield here for? If you scroll down, because it is Divine Flash, Eternal Youth. Divine Flash is nice, so it gives you 5% maximum Chaos res and 50% Elemental taken as Chaos. So you split the Elemental damage that you take between Chaos and Elemental. And then you have like 5% mental max chaos res. So that's 80 chaos res as it is. Then you have Eternal Youth, which I think is pretty meh here. It doesn't really do anything for us. And then Everlasting Sacrifice. When you reach 4 energy shield, sacrifice all energy shield to gain 5% to all maximum resistances for 4 seconds. Normally, it's very hard to get max energy shield. Normally, most players use a Mortal Ambition with Vow Pact in order to get this energy shield. I think it's bonkers. It's not quite possible to steal enough yes per second in order to get this decent uptime on Everlasting Sacrifice. So I'll show you exactly the tech I'm using right now to keep Everlasting Sacrifice at a pretty decent uptime. Okay, then you have Immortal Ambition. Energy shield starts at 0, cannot recharge or regenerate energy shield, and lose 5% energy shield per second. Life leech effects are not removed when under-reserved life is filled. So you have overleech from this, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter because I'm on Petrified Blood anyway. So I already have overleached mechanics there. But the thing is that even with max, so the thing is that even with uh, life at max, or rather if your life is full, like you manage to overheal past the Petrified Blood limit, you will still have what was it? You will still have leech, right? So I guess that's a good thing. Next, total recovery, Valpack, total recovery from life leech is double. It doesn't make a difference because you have Eternal Youth here, so actually it's the same. The amount of life recovery from leech is unchanged essentially. Maximum total life recovery per second is doubled. Yeah, so it's the same. Life regeneration has no effect. So basically, you don't have any life regeneration, which doesn't really matter for us because we never really scale life regeneration to begin with. Okay, so I'll explain to you why I've gone this particular shield and how I'm able to get max res. So if you look at this, I have this jewel here. This is a Elegant Hubris with Kadiro. This particular 51620, it gives me a pretty sizable amount of decent nodes, and I'll show you the nodes later. It's kind of insane. But the main keystone is here is Supreme Decadence. Life recovery from Flask also applies to Energy Shield. 30% less life recovery from Flask. So why is this cool? It means that I can use my Flask to get max energy shield and then proc the 5% to all resistances. So I can get elemental resistance to 80 and chaos resistance to 85 just with this flask usage. And I'll show you how effective this is later on. Right, you see 30% less life recovery for Flask. You might think that is not so good, but there are ways to countermand it and to basically just mitigate that. And what I'm doing here is I'm using a Cautious Divine Life Flask of Warding. So what does a Cautious Divine Life Flask do? It gives me more recovery if used while on low life. So if I'm at the Petrified Blood limit, which is 50%, I tap this once and I basically just overheal. Right, I have a recovery from this that's so insane that it basically fills up my energy shield multiple times. I'll show you this later on. So what are the bonuses to the nodes that I was talking about later with the placement of the jewel here? I have 40% crit multi here, and 40% crit multi here, and 80% increased cold damage with attack skills here. Alright, this is quite literally the best combination you could possibly have. And yeah, so I'm just happy to have this here. Yeah, the guy who sold it to me sold it pretty cheap. I don't think it's cheap because I don't think anyone is running this build. So yeah, so, you could say it's not a bad deal for him, right? But this is really good for me. What else? Oh, because I've dropped Frost Breath, I now have to get Overlord. So I have Overlord here. This gives me Fortify with 100% chance of Fortify though, which is not too bad. But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have 45 if I didn't have this cluster. So I had to swap out the old cluster for this one. I've removed Elemental Overload and just started scaling all the crit nodes. So the efficient crit nodes are the Mace, Crit Strike, and Multiplier ones here. And then the melee critical multi-strike multiplier here. So these nodes, along with these two nodes, give me a total crit multi of 278. Goes up to I think 200 and what was it with the Assassin's Mark? Assassin's Mark is 48, so that is 326. That's not too bad, eh? So of course there are ways to scale it. That would mean getting crit multi-jewels, but those are really, really expensive. So I need to find a way to get decently cheap ones and still manage my ailment avoidance. So if you look at my ailment avoidance, I'm still around the same. I'm still 100% of a chance to avoid bleeding, 100% chance to avoid all elemental ailments, which makes me pretty tanky per se, or allows me to deal with many different situations or map mods. What else is there? Okay, gloves hasn't changed, so this has stayed the same. Boots has gotten a little bit more stat efficient, so I get a lot more chaos rest from this, and I've gotten the 6% action speed on the implicits, and the 10% pen on Ellie res for the boot craft or the boot enchant. Tracer Masturbation has a corruption now. Determination has 20% increased aura effect. I can also go for a hatred aura effect one, but I think determination is better for me here, especially because I think the stats on the chains itself is pretty good with decent life, and I think that's max chaos res, isn't it? Yeah, it's max chaos res. Alright, that's pretty much it to do with gear. So I'm running a Progenesis Flask as usual with Petrified Blood. That helps me to mitigate a lot of the single target hits, the huge single hits coming in, and then spread them out with the delayed damage effect. And the flasks I was talking about, the Divine Flask, this also removes curses on use to give me max rage. So this works very well with the this flask mechanic because you're gonna be tapping a flask anyway once every couple of seconds, every time your Berserk depletes. So yeah, Silver Flask just because there's no more onslaught implicit on the weapon because I'm using this instead of Frost Breath. Granite Flask obviously because armor is nice, and Diamond Flask with attack speed. All of these are Flagellant Flasks to help me get decent uptime. With gem sockets around the same, I don't think there's any difference. I'm running Hatred, Petrified Blood, Determination, Blood and Sand, Defiance Banner, and Precision. Precision is linked to Arrogance, and it is reserving life, although not too much life. So about 400 here, with the life being reserved. So that's all there is for gear. Do I actually want to show a map? I don't know. Guess this is just an update, so whatever. Less recovery rate. I mean, I can show the flask anyway, so I might as well. I need to put myself up, a bit sleepy. Oh yeah, it is hurting that mechanic. Oh well. Oh yeah, no, because it's not. Yeah, it's not petrified yet. So wait, yeah, I have to do this anyway. Oops. I think I hit it once, but it's fine. Gotta show the mechanic. I guess I can show it here. So, see the energy shield filling up twice in a row. So everlasting sacrifice, you have additional maximum resistances. I want to show it again. Unfortunately, my cold is not. I need more cold rest, but that can be fixed later. And the chaos rest is mostly propped up by the flask. But if you look at the rest for, oh wait, never mind. It's full. It's full. It doesn't. When your life is full, it doesn't heal energy shield. So yeah. Anyway,
Let's see
that's
how
fine.
strong your resolve truly is.
The ground effect thing is really.
I cannot do this yet.
Oh yeah, I need to talk about my jewels. I'll do that later. Oops. Reduce resolve. Oh, come on. God, literally walking in everything.
You stare into the abyss, and the abyss stares back.
Oh, nice. Oh, God, this is a buff actually.
Bow to my sycophants. These are flesh vessels, just like you.
Got hit once, Sedge. But that's fine. How much a glass blows bubbles right now? Ah, this should be more expensive. Obviously, with chaos.
The future is bright for those who wait.
Oh, yes. I hit a normal leader. Sedge. Click resolve weakness. Nope. I think this way then. After this, I get this. Anomaly is a pain in the ass, but as long as they don't stand still, it's fine. How many more rooms is there? 3. I think I'll just save it and then go back to the map. That's it. Okay. What the heck is this? Oh wow. Never seen that before. Okay. I'll talk a bit about the jewels then. For jewels, I'm slowly phasing out of those that give flat damage because I don't think they're as crucial for me. So I'm looking for hybrid chance to avoid being shocked and bleed and put them on the same jewel with a bit of life. And then with the jewel slots that I free up, I want to move into like pure crit multi jewels just to get multi up to like insane values. So almost the same power thing. There's not really much change except the crit multi and the crit chance nodes. When it comes to the jewels, I have gone for Forbidden Flesh with Blitz. I'll tell you why I went Blitz instead of another one. Where's actually the... Where is my Forbidden... I should keep them together. Easy to keep track. So I've gone for Blitz. The reason why I've gone for Blitz, if you look at the Ascendancy, this is quite literally, I think, one of the worst Ascendancy points you can get. The multi and crit chance and the flat damage altogether is like 10% more damage, right? Compared to something like this, which gives 40% more. And Defiance, which gives like an insane amount of recovery, insane amounts of armor. So that's the reason why, it really doesn't make sense to path this just to get this. So I went Blitz here instead, and then just went for these two. So yeah, that's why I went Blitz. Blitz is also a lot cheaper. So it cost me like 3 Divines total just to get this. If I were to get the aspect of Carnage, it's going to like go into like 20 binds or some shit like that. Obviously not Defy Pain. I'll basically have to skip Defy Pain and both Aspect Carnage and Defy Pain if I wanted to go this way, go this route the conventional way, which is the path through here. Yeah, so I really don't want Flawless Savagery, and that's the reason why I did this instead. Yeah, so I've also done Tekrotsky. So I had this drill for quite some time. I think I showed this probably at the start. I bought this for 3 chaos. I have no idea why the guy sold it for 3 chaos, but it gives 100% crit chance. 100% to crit chance because I have like 5 total drills, which basically just gives me 10% base crit, extra crit, right? So because my base crit is 9.5, so 100% extra crit is going to be another 9.5 crit chance. Yeah, Watcher's Eye is still exactly the same. This is super good. I don't think I'll phase it out anytime soon. And Storm Shroud is still there. So yeah, all in all, that's all the changes there is to this build. You notice I stopped pathing through here is because I kind of ran out of points. It would be nice to just pass through here and get Divine Fervor or Holy Dominion. Holy Dominion would be great because I really need some of the res, especially for core res. Unfortunately, if I were to path the Holy Dominion, getting this extra would be like 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and I only have 1, 2 points. You know what I mean? So I need another 2 points to come from somewhere else, and obviously there isn't really much space to get. And there isn't really much places that take points away from because this 3 is extremely efficient as it is. So maybe this too, but to get 30 dexterity and intelligence is going to be like super expensive. I don't know where they get it from, to be honest. So that's staying for now. But eventually, if I do find a gear piece that allows me to drop these two, then yeah, I might consider doing that. Or I just might get more life nodes. It really depends. So that's all there is for the build. I will just keep pushing and progressing this. I'm still at 97, but likely I'll push to 98. And if possible, and this character is tanky as expected. I mean, I don't expect it to be super tanky. I mean, last league I was kind of spoiled because the Trickster was so tanky. But I think hitting 99 is not particularly a problem for this character. Just whether or not I want to do it. And yeah, that's all there's to it, pretty much. Do I want to make another character? We'll see. I have been accumulating gear for other things, like stuff I want to try out. So, yeah, I actually really want to try out a Dissolution of the Flesh build. with Eternal Youth, so that may come. But for now, this is on the shelf. I haven't really thought about what I want to do. I also have a 6-link Void Forge. I am selling this right now, so if it does sell, then maybe I will make a build around it. But if I don't sell this, that's always, it'll be quite cool to come up with something that works with this. I do have full stack sig, but actually there is probably a build that kind of this. I have Lowy already, and then I have this, so this is like super good together. Yeah. What else is there? I don't think I have anything else I'm trying out right now that like. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else I'm trying right now. Oh, what's this garbage? So it's only those two things I want to try out, and that's it, I guess. All right, see you guys. Peace. Hope you enjoyed the video.